everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Tom Romero, and with me always is...
Hey, this is Ian Westhoff.
And welcome to our Comic-Con at Home edition of Toy Lines Podcast. No lines.
No lines for the bathroom. No lines to eat. No lines for toys.
No scalpers you gotta trample over, or vice versa.
How did you like Comic-Con at home, Tom? How is this? You've been to San Diego before. I haven't. So how did you feel compared to going?
It's weird. You miss that meeting, that relationship with people. Meet your friends in the industry, other people that you're close to. Like you miss that camaraderie. You can just sit around, talk to people.
Right. Did you find anything easier from checking things out at home and watching videos, or?
Well, some of the stuff we got press releases for, so that was kind of easy.
Right.
But yeah, I was just more curious to see the panels. There were some good panels. I saw the boys panel. That was...
So obviously, though, you would rather go to a convention than do it virtually.
Yes, but along those lines, they let so many people in. I mean, you're constantly online. You're battling people to get a spot on that line.
Right.
I'll always remember that first year with the Hall H people. I mean, to get to the panel they wanted, they started waiting on a Wednesday, camped out until Saturday.
What panel was it for? What was Panel H? Do you remember what it was for?
Probably the Avengers.
Okay.
It's mostly a Marvel thing. But yeah, I mean, some of those people are insane. I remember 2 years ago, somebody got stabbed over a chair. Yeah, a chair in Hall H.
See, like, I don't want to go camping outdoors. I'm like, camping indoors, like you camp out for a space, that's more like luxurious camping. That's something fine in a way. Like, there's bathroom and electricity and, climate control. But I don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait on the line for so many days and, for somebody to be stabbed. That's serious. So over a chair, man. It's like, dude.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're called fanatics.
Yeah. So this virtual stuff has me concerned about February for Toy Fair 2021. My biggest, and in the grand scheme of things, it's sad to say, my biggest fear is they're going to cancel it. There's bigger things to worry about in life, but like I hope they don't cancel it. Toy Fair to me is like the best thing ever going there. It's, we get to hang, we get to go see what's new, we get to walk around and just talk to people and discover new things. That's where I first saw Mitchu Wu's photography for his toy photography. It's just an enjoyable day. I enjoy the hell out of it. So I hope they don't cancel it, but I know you were saying you think there's a possibility?
A lot of people are saying that February is too soon.
Yeah,
and with that vaccination, we're probably going to end up seeing all the new stuff virtual again.
Yeah, I mean,
it's actually a sad and scary thought if you think about it.
Well,
like you said, there's other things to consider, besides
toys. Yeah, I mean, of course, like parents, they got to worry. Are kids going back to school or not? So obviously this is
college,
especially for a freshman. A freshman starting high school or college, it's just like this is a big step for them, and they might not get to go right away. They might have to wait half a year. We don't know.
Yeah, these are weird times.
Like something out of our Twilight Zone or an Outer Limits. It's just don't expect it to happen. It happened, and sometimes you still can't believe it. And it's almost normal now. You see people with the mask, and it's very, very strange.
See what happens when Toys R Us closes, folks?
It's all because of that. They just kept the store open, but that's for another time.
A lot of good stuff coming out of Comic-Con. Oh, I also wanted to point out, I saw McFarland's documentary last night.
Is that on Sci-Fi? You said
it was.
What'd you think? I was sleeping. What'd you think?
It was okay. His first documentary, The Devil's in the Details, that was a good one. That was an excellent one, actually. This one was okay. It mostly focused on issue 300.
Okay.
They just inserted a little background into McFarland's life.
Now, you read a book you told me about. Was that book about him better than this documentary? About a few months ago, you read this book about some lawsuits.
Oh, his lawsuits. That Tony Twist guy he took him to the cleaners.
What?
And it was just so ridiculous too, in my opinion. Hey, I have a fan. He's obviously talented. He put me in his book, but no, this no name wanted a quick payday.
Just so fans out there who are listening, what was the name of the book?
The World versus Todd McFarlane. It basically entails every lawsuit McFarlane ever had, up to and including when McFarland Toys, McFarland Productions filed for Chapter 11.
So Tony Twist was a hockey player.
Yeah, he was an unknown brawler hockey player who
Never heard of him.
Yeah, well, no one's ever heard of him until McFarlane put him in Spawn.
Okay.
Then, according to the book, he got bumhurt because the Spawn animated series came out, and Tony Twist is a mafia character in Spawn. The animated show was adult-oriented, and Tony Twist was doing some adult things. Apparently, according to the lawsuit, Tony Twist's mother found out. She reacted negatively towards what she heard, and that incited the lawsuit.
Okay.
And that was one. His next lawsuit came with Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman created Medieval Spawn, Angela, and Cagliostro. According to his claim, he was never given royalties based on those three characters. And then there was some other stuff with Miracle Man, the purchase of Eclipse. I believe it was Eclipse Comics when they went under. If you're in the creative business, it's a great eye opener. And one of the nice things about McFarlane documentary last night was Todd even said it. He's like, I've made mistakes. I admit it. Like, his first documentary was excellent. I highly recommend it. It's called The Devil's in the Details. But this one had a little bit more heart. There was a scene where McFarlane's talking about his spouse Wanda.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yeah, and he actually started to choke up. He was teary-eyed.
So it's like a side of him you don't normally see.
Exactly. I've met him a few times. Very nice. Always, hey, how you doing? Thanks for your support. I was lucky enough to have my Art of McFarlane on one occasion, and he wrote, very nice note to me inside the book. Right. Personalized it. I mean, he's a great guy, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know him personally, but a few times I've met him, he was always nice. And even at Toy Fair, he was like, yeah, come by the booth. And
yeah, his booth. I remember we went in February. The booth was packed at the time, obviously, and I remember just like, go ahead, Tom. I'm gonna just wait out here. Sometimes the booths in the designated space they get, even so many people in it, is just. Mezco's booth this year was so packed.
Oh my god!
It was just like you could not move.
People were like, "I'll be back."
Yeah,
that's how packed it was. And now think about that. This coming February.
Exactly.
I think we're going virtual.
An appointment. They would have to have either open booths, so like kind of like how Funko does it,
right?
Or they only let so many people in. Masks. Sanitizing stations. So when maybe they would do more of that, but you're right. It comes a point where the Javits Center is a very large place. If you're going to have international things coming, and if things are spiking in this country or in another country, it's probably safe to say the best thing to do is to cancel it, go virtual. But who knows? Day to day, things kind of change. We get different information. We can't tell the future,
Super 7 came out Brian Flynn hosted, and they're coming out with glow-in-the-dark mutagen reaction turtles.
Yes. Now these.
They come in a TGIF canister, and it's Leo, Raph, Mikey, and Don, and they all glow in the dark.
Super customer. I think a lot of their stuff sold out already, but
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it when I saw it on their site. I was like, this is pretty cool. I love the reaction line. I was thinking today. I think that's my favorite toy line out there is like the reaction figures. Again, it's because of the look and feel. It makes me think of Star Wars, and that's how toys were back when we were kids, the exception of G.I. Joe. But the cards are great. Yeah, so I think these turtle ones are great. I love what Super 7's doing with them. They surprise me all the time. I remember one year, a couple of toy fairs ago, we were there and they had like toys for Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, and I was like, oh my god, when are we getting toys for Barry Gordon's Last Dragon? Now, that would be cool. But yeah, so what else has Super 7 got?
And then they also have the ultimate glow-in-the-dark Baxter Stockman.
Very nice.
One of the cool things I like about this, it also includes a glow-in-the-dark Mouser.
So is he the Fly, like a fly in this version, or is he the person in this?
No,
version?
He's the Fly.
He's the Fly.
Yeah, he's the mutated guy.
And it comes with a Mouser. Okay, very nice. And
yeah, I don't know why. Something about that glow-in-the-dark Mouser. I think that's a great concept.
That's that's so 80s too. When you think about it, like a glow-in-the-dark toy, it's something that's been done before.
But it's a gimmick that can never go wrong for some reason.
You just hold it to the light. It absorbs the light in the room. So what I used to do is I used to just put it right next to the lamp by the light bulb, leave it there, and then shut the lights off, and then you really have that puppy glowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a great. It's gimmicks work sometimes.
And then the reaction figures from the Turtles: April, Space Raph, Krang, Splinter, and Disguised Donatello.
Donnie disguised as like was trench coat and hat, or is he?
Yeah, I believe we saw them in Toy Fair last year.
One of the things I saw for Super 7 was $20. It was the reaction figure for the Creature from the Black Lagoon in an aquarium box. I thought it was really cool. Creature from the Black Lagoon is one of my favorite Universal horror movies. I love the Creature. A lot of fans out there who like the Creature from the Black Lagoon call him Creech. There's this belief in the old Hollywood industry that Bud Westmore created the suit. Bud Westmore was a beauty makeup artist. He did not create the Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was actually created by a woman who was a former Disney artist, ink and painter, called Millicent Patrick. She still does not get her due for creating this monster, which is a shame. I mean, she did, and Bud Westmore, who was running Universal's makeup shop at the time, he was just so Universal monsters were usually in the 30s, and then they took a break. They stopped being, things go through cycles. This is their last. They made 3 movies with the Creature, but the first one is the best. Julie Adams is in it. It's got a Goon. It's just, I love this movie. But yeah, the suit. There's a whole history to this. There's books out about it, but I always just like to throw that in there for to give credit to Millicent Patrick, because she definitely deserved it for creating it. And the toy itself is really good. Cool. It's going, if it's sold out, it was going for $20, which is a pretty decent price for the aquarium box. It's kind of cool looking. So also with Super 7, we got a couple other cool things coming out, folks. First, if you're a Disney fan, we have the Disney Haunted Mansion 3-pack of the Hitchhiking Ghosts. This is a $60 set. And of course, if you've rode the Haunted Mansion, you know who the Hitchhiking Ghosts are. Now, these are cool for any Disney fan. If you're a fan of the ride, if you're a fan of Disneyana, these are incredible looking. They're really cool. And a little bit of trivia for those out there: the Hitchhiking Ghosts do have names: Gus, Ezra, and Phineas. The way to tell them apart is Ezra Bean is the tallest, so he's a dude tipping his hat. Professor Phineas Plump is the one with the carpet bag, which is what a lot of like in the day, little hobos used to travel around trains with. Gus is the dude with the ball and chain. These are really, really super cool. I love them. I would want to get them. Super 7 also has coming out a glow in the dark neon Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Very cool looking. And finally, this I thought this is the coolest thing. A reaction figure for Weird Science of Brother Chet. This is when he's in. Not gonna say the word on the air, but it's the S Toad. He glows in the dark. Looks just like what they did to him. He was played by Bill Paxton, and this actually got me thinking, because if they made Chet as a reaction figure, let's get like a John Hughes collection. Let's do excuse me, let's finish up Weird Science. Just need 3 more figures. Let's do Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So Super 7, if you're listening, that's what I would like to see of some new reactions. John Hughes collection.
Yeah, it seems like the monsters are definitely coming back. So,
and you know, I love monsters, especially as a kid growing up. I just ate that up, like old monster movies, and just, you know, they were like dinosaurs. And I love dinosaurs too, but they were just, I love the movies, you know, like the cheesy monsters, and just, you know, there's good stuff. Like the Monster Squad, I loved that movie as a kid, but
I still think that's ready for a reboot.
Reboot or reaction.
I already have my script.
You do? I remember you were talking about that.
So McFarland Toys is coming out with their Raw 10 line of creatures. First, starting off with Cygor, a cybernetic gorilla. He's been featured in the comics. He's an incredible character. Just picture King Kong with a robot arm and robot parts. And then along the lines of that comes Frenzy. Now, you're a big Jaws fan, so this might interest you. So it's a shark with robotic parts. He's got a metal jaw.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, knowing McFarlane, I'm sure that jaw is full of teeth that rotate and just slice and dice you. And then his center is also metallic, which is kind of cool. Raptar, a dinosaur with cybernetic legs.
Raptar, but not to be confused with, was it
Reptar?
Right, yep. Reptar from who was that?
Rugrats.
Rugrats, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as I saw the name, I was like, Reptar. And Battle Snake. Part snake, part
battle.
Part robot. Although I believe it or not, I've heard some G.I. Joe collectors thinking this is the greatest thing. They can put it with their Cobra collection.
I guess that makes sense.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. All of these Raw 10 figures will be a Walmart exclusive.
So Walmart's getting in on the action again.
Although, with McFarlane stuff, still see it on Walmart shelves. And then McFarland Toys is also coming out with DC Arkham Asylum and Flashpoint figures. This will include Robin of Earth 22 Demons, Infected Superman, Batman Who Laughs, Sky Tyrant, and the Merciless, all from Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah, Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah, they're all Batman. Then also you have Flash versus the Red Death 2-pack, Nightwing versus the Red Hood, and then Cyborg from the animated Teen Titans.
Which version of the, like, not Teen Titans Go?
No, well, the first animated one, the anime.
Okay, so it's the one where it's like.
But I mean, it's not. Yeah, but I mean, it's not. The colors aren't that animated where you could say it's Teen Titans Go.
Right.
But I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure if you give it to a kid, it'll automatically adjust. And then there's also going to be a Rebirth Joker and Flash from the comics. The figure everybody's been waiting for. The Thomas Wayne Batman from Flashpoint.
I like Batman on his own. Of course, I like the Bat Family, but I don't like him in anything else other than Batman. I don't like him teaming up with Superman. I think he should be his own entity. If I had the money, I would buy the character and just put out Batman. I just think he works better that way. That's how when I was a kid, I would buy Batman and Detective, and you know, I just preferred reading Batman books, and I like him when he's on his own. When you start mixing things, it sometimes takes away from the character.
Also coming from McFarland is the Doom Unicorn armor.
Okay, no idea what that is.
It's all right. So McFarland's doing the Doom toys from the video game, and basically it's just a soldier in a white soldier with a couple of eyes and a horn. Yes.
Oh my lord! All right.
Hey, unicorns are in.
They apparently are. Nice. All right.
McFarland also got the license for The Witcher, the Netflix TV show based on
books. It was books by a Polish author whose name I cannot pronounce, the last name. 7 or 8 books. The books were first. They start off as a series of short stories and then go into novels that continue. If you're a fan of if you like the show, I would say read the book. I think they cast perfectly. Henry, how do you say his name? Henry
Cavill.
Cavill. I think he's excellent. I think he looks the part. When I was reading the books, I was seeing him. I think he plays. He's an excellent choice for that role. I cannot say enough good things about the casting for him. I'm not a fan of the show. I preferred the books, but I am a fan of his casting.
Is there a lot of changes between the show and the books?
They did things. They kept some things in. The things they kept in, some of it looked a little silly. Some of it was a little different. He had a friend, a minstrel friend, who he would hang around with sometime. I think his name was Dandelion, and they didn't have him named that. And the young girl, excuse me, I think her name was Siri. From what I was reading in the books, I only got halfway through. She was going to have a bigger part, and I think what they did was for the show, this was in the books going to be later on. It was all leading up to it. Whereas in the books, they kind of introduced that story right away, I guess, to get you used to the characters and used to what's going to be brought in. But again, like I said, some people might prefer the show to the book, and that's cool. It's to each his own, I say.
And also, McFarland has some new My Hero Academia figures coming out.
That is a huge My Hero right now. It's just that stuff is everywhere, and I don't know. Have you ever seen it, Tom?
No, not once.
It's
although I should. Yeah, I know of it. A lot of people recommend it to me.
Yep.
All the time. I need to find time to just sit down and give it a try.
Yeah.
I mean, my old school manga knowledge is like Star Blazers, Battle of the Planets, and Voltron.
Yeah, I've only seen some bits and pieces, but I don't even know the guy's name. Bakugo, I think his name is, and all he does is hate everybody. He's just it's like a superhero academy, obviously. So it's just kind of in training to become a hero, and it's something I think you would like. But it's like getting a chance to sit down and watch every episode from the beginning. I think there's 3 or 4 seasons or something like that. I'm sure the people listening,
30 episodes per season,
probably. They have more. They know more about it than I do. But yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. I wish we could adapt to that here in America. I mean, could you imagine like having a season of Megas XL that was 30 episodes?
Of what?
Megas XL.
What's that?
Oh, man, I gotta educate you on some.
I'm not doing well in this episode, am I? I'm constantly Tommy, what is that?
So Megas XL is a Cartoon Network / Adult Swim network animated series about Coop, out of work, overweight video game junkie from New Jersey.
There you go.
With his buddy Jamie, and Coop is into cars. Okay. Goes to a junkyard, sees a sweet car, buys it for $5, gets in the car, and then realizes it's a robot from the future.
Okay.
So basically, he rewires the said robot, and he defends the Earth on a weekly basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is
I
the show
also
called?
want to. I also want to mention Kiva, who's trying to get the robot back from Coop, but he spent $5 on it. He's not giving it up.
Deal's a deal.
Yeah.
What's the name of the show again?
Megas XLR.
Megas XLR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, it's a shame what happened to the show. Basically, Cartoon Network wrote it off as a tax loss.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they can't. That's why they can never make any new shows, because if they did, apparently, Cartoon Network would have to pay the actual taxes.
Oh boy. So
Yeah.
is this on YouTube? You can probably catch episodes or something like
Oh
that.
yeah. Actually, you can buy it on iTunes.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of weird, but I remember somebody explaining it to me one time. It's a tax thing. But like I was saying, 30 episodes of an American show for one season, that'd be great.
Especially, I mean, that's animated.
That's back in Filmation time, though. I mean, nowadays it's unheard of.
Yeah, once again, it's the 80s.
Yeah.
Back then they knew how to do things. I'm pro 80s.
And then I forgot to mention Arkham Asylum chase figures from McFarland. Apparently, there'll be an Arkham Asylum Joker and an Arkham Origins Deathstroke figure.
So
chase figures.
So chase figures, how many per box? Like, are they doing the old one per box?
Who knows?
Yeah, I remember. I hate chase figures.
Yeah, I'm not a big chase guy myself.
I mean, they're just it was a hassle back then. When there was a toy store to go to. And it really goes back to what we were saying about toy stores, and sometimes the employees would put them on the side or whatnot. But yeah, that's something.
So Mesco Toys has stepped up and brought their game this year to Comic-Con. They have, from the 112 line, Bishop from the X-Men and John Constantine from Hellblazer. Both are very great looking figures, but here is the announcement I was extremely surprised and excited for. They also are going to create a Frank Frazetta Death Dealer figure.
So these are all coming out 2020, 2021?
I didn't see release dates yet. Knowing Mesco, they like to announce their figures way ahead of time. So
I think also
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them like 2021.
I think
maybe one of them at Christmas.
We also got to keep in mind with anything that's announced, any release date is subject to change. Yeah, unfortunately.
And here's another surprising thing: they're also announcing no pictures yet of the Fantastic Four. I'd like to see. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how they do Mr. Fantastic, because I'm sure he's going to stretch in some form.
That's a good point. Like, how are they going to do that? Like Stretch Armstrong, or they're going to different arms you get attached? Or
I'm really curious, because Mesco 112 figures use actual cloth clothing.
That's a good point.
So
maybe it'll just be a regular figure without that feature. But that's like his only feature, so it's like they'll figure it out.
The hands, yeah,
that's true too. Yeah, they'll figure something out.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how they pull it off. And then here you go, Ian. Mesco 5 Points are coming out with their monster line.
Yes,
Dracula, werewolf, mummy, Frankenstein.
No, it's fun. It's funny. I saw this, and I looked at the pictures, and each one made me think of something different. So they're not exactly your, and I don't know if this is exactly going to be what they look like, but based off the photo I saw, this is what they made me think of. So Dracula made me think of the Konami Castlevania video game from when I was a kid. Okay. The werewolf made me think of I Was a Teenage Werewolf from 1957. I Was a Teenage Werewolf starred Michael Landon, the guy from Little House on the Prairie. He played a teen called Tony Rivers, who, when he sees his psychiatrist, he regresses and becomes a werewolf, which is stupid. The Mummy made me think of an Iron Maiden cover of one of their albums. The one I liked the most though was Frankenstein, because he looked like Boris Karloff from Son of Frankenstein when he's got like kind of looks like the shag like sweater thing he's wearing, like this woolly mammoth kind of outfit. But yeah, this is pretty cool. They got like the core four of Universal's monsters right there, so that's pretty cool.
They also are coming out from 5 Points: Popeye, Olive Oil, The Chef, and Bluto.
So 5 point, was that like 5 points of articulation?
Yes.
Does that mean? Okay.
Yep. Head, arms, and legs.
So no Sweepy?
No Sweepy in that.
No Sea Heck?
No.
No Popeye? Popeye's father?
Pappy.
Thank you. Maybe Second Wave.
Yeah.
So didn't you say?
Well, Mesco's a huge Popeye supporter.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I remember they made that one figure last year.
Well, there's a 112 Popeye figure.
I think that's the one I
did. Yeah, they had like a tiny animated Popeye figure.
Oh wow!
When Mesco first started out. Yeah.
It'd be really cool if they did a Robin Williams version from the movie. Even though the movie I think tanked, that would still be cool. A second thing is, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but Popeyes back in the day didn't always serve like Louisiana style chicken. It was a chicken joint, but I remember in the 90s, Popeyes was the logo. It was basically a chicken place, kind of named for Popeye, the sailor. And collectors would come in and ask. They would have like little giveaway things of actually Popeye the Sailor. I'm going back to like my junior year of high school, which was, I'm not even going to tell you because I'm old, but that's pretty interesting.
So let's get into some quick movie news. Zack Snyder has stated he will not use any shots that he did not shoot for the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
Okay, so one was on and then Whedon took over?
Right. During the middle of filming Justice League, Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide.
Oh, that's terrible.
And so that's why he had to leave the project, and then Josh Whedon came in to finish.
Oh, that's I did not know. That's terrible. That's very sad.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good that they're letting him finish, amidst this tragedy.
Yeah, maybe it'd be like therapeutic in a way for him.
I mean, I don't know the guy, but that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Suicide's a big thing, so I hope it doesn't,
Yeah, there's a lot of
bring back memories or.
Yeah, there's a line in the Two Towers for the Lord of the Rings where King Theoden says to Gandalf, "No parent should ever have to bury their child," and it's. I think it's true. I mean, you don't want to bury anybody, but for a parent to outlive their child is just, it's heartbreaking.
But on the up and up, Nickelodeon has announced Star Trek Prodigy, an animated show for kids, from the people that made Trolls. Nothing really has been said about it other than the logo. It's anybody's guess.
It's anybody's guess, right?
Yeah, it's just Star Trek for kids. But I'm really interested in. I can't wait for Lower Decks to start.
I keep thinking of that. And Lower Decks is
the comedy show.
So it's
CBS All Access.
Oh, figures streaming. So that's probably going to be a bunch of red shirts then, right? Like the guys in their red, the guys in the red shirts usually die in the show.
In the original,
yeah, that's why.
Next Generation, a lot of it. I think they all had red shirts.
Yeah, they were all marked
pretty much
or Target on their back. I just remember our buddy Rich telling me that. I'm not a Star Trek fan. That's what I think when I see a red shirt. It's like, yeah, you're gonna die, buddy.
So for you He-Man fans out there, Masters of the Universe Origins are said to be released on August 1st at all Walmart stores.
It's like right around the corner.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this? You gonna buy any?
I'm gonna pick and choose with this line.
I think
So far, I have the Prince Adam with Sky Sled. I have the last year's Comic-Con edition of He-Man and Prince Adam Origins, the box set.
I think what I would do if I was collecting, I would I don't know how you collect your He-Man stuff, but I think what I would do when there's something that has like this, I don't want to call it a franchise, but when there's so many figures, I would focus on He-Man and Skeletor. I would just buy those because Skeletor is a cool looking villain. He-Man's the good guy. He's the hero. And I remember as a kid when I got my He-Man toys for Christmas, my brother playing with me, and he was like, "I want to be Skeletor." He always had this thing for like skeletons and like Grim Reaper. And I guess it goes back to that. It just makes me think of like playing with my older brother with my He-Man toys. So I would focus on those two, though there are other characters. Like for some reason, I like Buzz Off. I think he's cool looking. But I think sometimes when you collect, you just got to focus on one character, maybe, or whatever. And that's what I would do if I was.
Yeah, at least He-Man. Like, I'm not a big Funko guy, but I have the Funko He-Man. Not so much Skeletor stuff, but like if it's He-Man or Prince Adam.
I know you're a big fan of him.
Yeah, I'll collect all that. But yeah, with Origins line, I think I'm gonna. I mean, if they send us, hopefully figures to do toy reviews of, I'd collect that way. But mostly, I'm just gonna be a cherry picker.
No, I saw two things I thought was pretty cool for He-Man coming out. Hot Wheels, a He-Man and Skeletor car. And I got to be honest with you. The first, I read the title. I'm looking at the picture of the orange one. I'm thinking, who is that?
From Hot Wheels.
Yeah, and I honestly thought it was Man at Arms until I finally saw the sword on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's He-Man. The Skeletor looks really cool, and it kind of like has his face on it. So I'm like, okay, obviously that's Skeletor. This is kind of cool. It makes me think of Disney put out in the parks. Used to put out. They weren't Hot Wheels. They weren't Matchbox. It was their own car line, and they would put out cars of the characters. So it'd be like a Peter Pan's hat, kind of looking really super, cool looking, fast, muscle car. Star Wars, they would make it more of like the character, and then they sold the same things or similar things like it to Target and stuff like that. But these cars, like I'm not really a Hot Wheels Matchbox kind of guy. My brother was. I don't understand. I never really understood playing with the cars. They just.
I loved my Hot Wheels as a kid.
Yeah, my brother.
Oh yeah, I had. So back in the 80s, they had He-Man Hot Wheels. Like, it was a set, but it would jump. It was basically it was a track. You would launch the car and it do like go around a loop
or something.
Yeah, and then it would jump and fly.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I loved cars.
That's cool. I mean, I know there's a lot of big collectors out there for this kind of stuff, so this is pretty cool. I really liked these when I saw them.
The He-Man car actually reminds me of Elon Musk's Super Truck. And then Masters of the WWE are coming out with some new figures. You have Mr. T in Jitsu armor with Fisto Gold Fist and Jitsu chopping hand. Seth Rollins in Wondar/Zodak armor. To be honest with you, I'm not a big WWE guy. Well, like I'm still in the Hulk Hogan era.
The 80s, yeah.
Yeah, but I may actually purchase this figure just so I can take the armor and use it as customs for my other
Right.
He-Man figures.
Well, I see there's a Jake the Snake battle armor, and Jake the Snake. I remember always in the '80s, the wrestling comes out with this bag. They're like, "Oh my God, what's in that bag?" And dude's name is Jake the Snake. It's not a freaking cat in there. So these are the ones where you mix the parts with the He-Man figure.
With the Origins line.
The Origins line. Okay.
Once the Origin line starts coming out, I'm really looking forward to seeing what some of the customs come out with. Because, I mean, during Classics, I have a whole bunch of customs I made. And that's what was one of the cool things about Classics. You can actually mix and match heads and armor, and you can create your own. That's always been a feature I loved about Classics. And then also, so last year they came out with the Castle Grayskull ring. This year they're coming out with the Snake Mountain ring, featuring Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Like a wrestling ring?
Yeah.
Really? They had a Castle Grayskull wrestling ring?
Yes. Last year.
And that's last year. This year's Snake Mountain.
Yes. It's basically just a ring
with
the colors and, the motif. It's not, it's not really a castle.
Yeah. I didn't know any of this.
You can vote now for either Wundar or Triclops as the next Origins figure. Then between the winner of Wundar and Triclops on that bracket, they'll go up against Keldor from Origins.
Keldor, who is he again?
Keldor is Skeletor before
he lost his face.
Before he lost his face, sure.
To put it in layman's terms.
That's a quick version, sure.
Okay. All right. Who would you vote for? Do you know? Are you going to vote?
Oh, I've already voted. I did vote for Keldor, but I was hoping there'd be a villain slot and a hero slot. I didn't know there was just going to be one slot.
You voted for Keldor, or?
Well, yeah, it was Keldor. Originally, it was Keldor versus Anti-Eternium Man-at-Arms. So I voted for Keldor.
Okay, but what about between Wundar and Triclops? Did you vote for that?
Wundar, yeah. I'm losing. I think. To be honest with you, I think I'm the only one that voted for Wundar.
I would have voted for him just because we had talked about him recently.
Yeah. The winner between Wundar and Triclops is going to create another vote against Keldor and the winner. So I know a lot of people like that look for Keldor. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was the next one. Mondo, for you Masters of the Universe fans, has also shown preliminary designs and release dates for their continuing Masters of the Universe line. The first one is She-Ra. She's slated to be released in September 2021, and she looks like a female bodybuilder, which is nice. You never really have seen that aspect of She-Ra before. Right. Like, I love the Mondo line. I just purchased Man-at-Arms. I can't wait. I mean, he is jacked with armor and detail, and he comes with the Filmation mustache version, which is just intense. I mean, Mondo's doing some really nice stuff with the Masters. February 2021 will show Keldor and his emergence as Skeletor. Like, he's got a flaming skull head on the Keldor body, or Skeletor body. So that's badass. I did see this particular figure last year at Comic-Con, and that's Hordak. This figure I cannot wait for. It is just all sorts of badass. I mean, he just oozes metal. The nice thing about this, there is also going to be a blue cartoon variant of Hordak.
Blue cartoon variant? Why blue?
Okay, so the original vintage Hordak, the action figure was all in gray.
Okay.
He didn't get blue skin or his blue uniform until She-Ra's Filmation cartoon.
Hordak and Skeletor are somehow connected, correct?
Hordak trained Skeletor.
Okay.
Skeletor originally was part of the evil horde. But
so it's kind of like a Sith, Sith Jedi and their Sith Padawan, I guess.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Although apparently they betrayed each other. So
Skeletor and Hordak.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, if that's
because when Hordak kidnapped Ghidorah and brought her to Etheria, they caught Skeletor and he just blabbed all over. He was like, "Hey, it's all Hordak. He took your kid."
He threw that bitch under the bus.
Yeah.
So they were twins, right? Adam and
Adora.
Adore. So okay, do they ever fight? Yeah, but they meet later on, and right,
Yeah, Adam finds her.
like a good brother.
Yeah, Mondo does good stuff. To this day, I still swear by their turtles.
That's right. You said you were a big fan of their turtles.
Yeah. And I'm still waiting for. There is in existence a Mondo Casey Jones, and every time I see Brock, I'm like, "Hey man, where's this figure?" And he always gives me the same answer: "We're talking about it. We're talking about it." It would be nice, actually. I would love to see a Splinter figure out of Mondo.
That'd be pretty good.
Because right now, I have these giant Ninja Turtles from the Mirage comics from Mondo, and the tiny NECA Splinter in front of them.
they're the movie turtles you're talking about, right?
The ones from Mondo.
Yeah. Oh no, you said Mirage. I'm sorry.
Yeah. These are Mirage Turtles.
Okay.
But I mean, they literally walked off issue 1. Speaking of NECA, a lot of people have been complaining because they're putting out product and only scalpers are buying them off Target. So NECA responded. They are looking into the situation. According to them, they have come up with a plan or protocols to combat bots for scalpers.
That's interesting. However,
Now,
they're going to do that.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people are upset about it. I'm upset about it because there's a couple of turtle figures I wanted to grab and do reviews of for the site that I can't find anywhere. Not online, not at the store. I understand people are upset about this, and it's good that NECA's looking into it at least.
Yeah.
That they're concerned. They want to do stuff to get these products in hand. But my main concern is if you don't want scalpers, and I hate to say this, especially to collectors, if you don't want scalpers, don't support them.
That's true.
Only reason why scalpers are doing this is because they know you love toys. They know if you love something enough, you're going to get that money. They're going to get your money.
Yeah.
Now, especially nowadays, you have a million different companies. Well, maybe not a million, but you have all these different companies doing characters of the same IP. Okay, so you can't get let's say, mutagen turtles. Right now, tons of scalpers, outrageous prices, but you really want them. You know what? Wait for it. I know you've waited this long. Just wait a little longer. And if you have that turtle itch, you have all these other companies like Super 7. One of the naked turtles I wanted to get was Metalhead. He's one of my favorites, the robot turtle.
Right.
Okay. Loved what NECA's doing with it. Can't find it in Target. So you know what? I'm going to wait. If I really, really want to buy a Metalhead figure, Super 7 has one right now. That looks just like my Playmates one. So that's great to, just be patient and, you can scratch that itch you have.
Support the company, not the scalper, basically.
Exactly.
Or support a company.
Yeah, so that's one of my rants on the subject. Don't support scalpers.
No.
And I'll admit, and if you do, there's nothing wrong with that because let's face it, up until recently, I did it. I mean, I overpaid for my Prince Adam, but that's because I really wanted to do a toy review. And another thing, please don't get upset at toy reviewers. Getting promotional figures is just their well-deserved bonus for showing all collectors what to expect. Look at it this way. A fellow collector just got a figure that a scalper didn't. That's a victory right there. So that's my stance on it. Don't support the scalpers. Also coming out of NECA is the Back to the Future animated figures. Marty, Biff, Doc, and Einstein. And also the animated DeLorean that was featured at Toy Fair this past year.
What do you think about the way they look?
I like them. I really do. I love the DeLorean. You can pre-order all these figures at Big Bad Toy Store. The pre-order is open now. And the Back to the Future show was great too. They even had Doc Brown's kids in it.
Yeah, wasn't Christopher Lloyd kind of like the host, like in between segments? Like, didn't he introduce the episode or something?
Oh my god, yeah, I think you're right.
I think and it was very short, obviously, each intro or whatever, probably an intro and an outro, but
yeah, it was a good show. And then along those lines, NECA is doing it once again with the Ultimate Doc Brown action figure with extra hands, extra head, and the actual blueprints.
the flux capacitor.
Yeah.
Probably because it was, does he have the Band-Aid on the head? The porcelain was wet. He slipped, hit his head on the
on the toilet or something.
Yeah.
And then he's got one with like a shocked face with goggles on. Oh, he did. I'm sorry. He comes with blueprints of the flux capacitor and of the clock tower. And then they're also coming out with Back to the Future Marty and Marty in the spacesuit. Yeah, we saw these at Toy Fair last year.
You know what?
Or last February.
Spacesuit looks like a giant diaper to me. The lower half, obviously.
But the Marty McFly, the likeness of Michael J. Fox is like dead on.
Well, even Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
They really nailed his face perfectly. And there's a lot of Back to the Future merchandise coming out lately. I saw this thing. They're re-releasing the Valterra skateboard that he used in the first movie. I skateboarded in the 90s, and I used Powell Peralta deck, which was like one of the, like Tony Hawk used to skate for Powell Peralta. So Valterra, I don't really know how popular they are, but that was like back in '85, and you wanted Marty's board. So it's they're coming out with that, like I think a coat with his pins on it, stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of stuff coming out.
Well, I remember a while ago Nike made a special the sneakers, yeah.
I want them, but they're expensive, and because they're cool looking, and they self-lace, so it's even better. And they're coming out with his jacket from Back to the Future too. I think also I think this is either coat from the first one or the coat from the second one. I'm drawing a blank here. I apologize, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out.
It's all cyclical. We're coming back.
It's the 80s.
Yeah,
so you can't beat the 80s, man.
We're all coming back. And so for you Turtle fans, I'm actually excited for this. There will be a 3-pack, Origins 3-pack with Hamato Yoshi, Oroku Saki, and a little Splinter in a cage.
So when I saw this, it made me think of the movie.
Exactly.
It's the movie version?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
That movie, when it came out, was like perfect blend of like the kid show, but the black and white comic. Parents who brought their kids could enjoy it. I was a freshman. Me and my buddy Rich went, dragged him to see it. And it was just like, I felt like it was all around good. And was it New Line Cinema put that out?
Yeah.
That was, at the time, when it came out, the highest grossing independent film, which is like really impressive for that. I mean, obviously the kids made the money for it, but like the movie was huge when it came out.
Of course. And they deservingly so. I mean, Jim Henson was part of it.
Yeah, I mean, the suits looked great.
Yeah, oh my
the
God,
fight
everything.
Scenes, everything was just like, casting was great. The fight choreographing was incredible. I couldn't imagine being in those suits as an actor, let alone a stunt double doing like, the amount of sweat probably lost in that outfit. It must have been just like barbaric.
I would love to see. I've only seen 2, but apparently there's a lot more cut stuff from that movie.
The first one?
The first one, yeah.
I know there was a scene with them in the field at April's farmhouse. I think there was stuff from that was probably cut.
One of the scenes I saw was, so after the whole movie, April and Dan, they go to the comic book publisher, and all the turtles are hanging out in the window in the background.
Yeah. And they're like,
and right, yeah, they're trying to pitch the book. They're like, yeah, Ninja Turtles. And the guy's like, nah, I'm not interested. And yeah, I saw that one. And there's a scene. So you remember where April's doodling, and she's thinking about the turtles and each one. Yeah. There is actually one scene where she talks about Michelangelo. Apparently, there's even an actual hand-drawn picture of Michelangelo. Right, a sketch of Michelangelo.
I never really noticed they didn't have one of him in the movie.
Yeah, it was so weird because she talks about Raph. He's in the bathtub.
Right.
She talks about Donatello who's hanging out with Casey.
Right.
But yeah, they for some reason cut Mikey.
No, I never. But you know what? I never noticed it. Like it just kind of like the movie flowed evenly. So I was like,
oh yeah, the pacing was incredible.
Yeah.
And then also coming out from NECA, which we saw at Toy Fair, are the animated turtles that are quarter scale. They come with extra heads and weapons in the vintage packaging.
It's cool. They're going vintage.
Yeah.
And Super Shredder, they're doing.
Super Shredder from the second movie is coming out, along with a 2-pack foot soldier.
I liked how the foot soldiers looked in the movie. The basic outfit they wore. I thought it was pretty cool. It wasn't stupid looking. It was simple. It was realistic in a way. The masks were cool looking. So, like, when you're trying to do something like that, it's kind of like, how do you do it? And then, but they certainly did it. So kudos to them.
Yeah, NECA's really on top of their game with their Ninja Turtles lines. And then for their animated line, they're coming out with the Krang android body with the little Krang brain inside his stomach. That's cool. They're also coming out with Mondo Gecko.
All right, it comes with a skateboard.
Yep.
Nice.
Muckman, Joe Eyeball, Vernon, who's going to come with an extra head from the episode where the Rat King comes in and mutates Vernon and Irma, and they become rats. And then the actual Rat King, and he's going to come with a bunch of rats and some accessories. So the future for NECA Turtles is looking good. Now, if they can only find a way to get them into the fans' hands, mission accomplished.
Also coming out from NECA is another Gremlin. This is the Back to School Gremlin. It's going to be a Target exclusive. It'll be out either this August or September. It's the only way I can describe this in a podcast is he looks like a 1950s Leave It to Beaver character. So the clothing, kind of put that in your mind, or I like to call it Leave It to Gremlin. The Gremlin comes with books, a baseball and glove, a Gizmo lunchbox, and a bus stop sign, like he's waiting for school. I gotta hand it to them. What they're doing with the Gremlins just like constantly cracks me up. I loved the summer one where he was swimming. When we went to Toy Fair about a year or two ago, they had like this little diorama set up of the movie theater scene. And it was when I go to see Snow White, and they had all the seats set up and different Gremlins doing different things. There was the Gremlin with the 3D glasses on. There was a Gremlin with the popcorn bags on its ears. It was just the most incredible thing. Like, and the stuff they keep coming out with, they either it's out or it is coming out. What they call the Flasher Gremlin with a trench coat, like when they were in the bar and he flashes Phoebe Cates. That movie, what a great '80s movie. Joe Dante at his best, and just Gremlins in general. If you are old enough to remember the Warner Brothers stores, they used to have as part of their display Gremlins in the store. So in the mall, there would just be like these life-size Gremlin, which would be about 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall probably. But in their New York store, when they had one, they used to have them like hanging around by the escalator, like they're gonna mess it up. So it's great to see like the Gremlins still being around and getting some respect.
Was there ever a Gremlins documentary?
I don't think so. I could tell you this, that the idea. Well, I was about to say, you should call up Rob McCollum and tell him maybe get started on that, because the idea was Chris Columbus's, and he wrote the script, but he got the idea from when he was living in the city. He used to sleep with his hand hanging off the bed, and he used to hear like the rats scurrying around, and you'd always think like, what if they like nibbled on my hand or something? You never know what a story comes from, and there it is. But there should be a documentary about the history of Gremlins, because they're pretty darn cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're making so many documentaries now about all 80s properties.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait for the RoboCop doc.
Oh, I didn't even know they were making one.
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter.
Huh. Is it called? What's it called?
I think it's just called RoboCop right now.
I thought it was called like a RoboDoc, because that's kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
So IDW, Transformers, and Back to the Future are going to combine into a limited miniseries, and it features the introduction of Gigawatt, the transforming DeLorean. Written by Kevin Scott with art by Juan Samu. The first issue will be released in October. basically the whole series is them trying to stop Megatron. So I'm thinking it might be an all spark type thing. That's how they create Gigawatt. So if you love Transformers and if you love Back to the Future, there you go. Hot Toys is releasing Zombie Iron Man from Spider-Man Far From Home. The figure looks incredible, as most Hot Toys figures do, but I remember seeing that scene, and I tell you, if I was Peter Parker, my blood would be boiling to go after Mysterio just for picking that nerve.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always nice to have a trauma like that coming back in plastic form, especially from Hot Toys. Then along the lines of Hot Toys, they have the Tony Stark figure taking flight. So basically, in the first Iron Man, where Tony Stark is starting to put together Iron Man armor and how he's going to fly and repulsor rays. Right. The scene in his garage where he actually takes flight. So it's essentially, if you're a Robert Downey Jr. fan, this is your figure. You can remove all that stuff. Just have a little Robert Downey Jr. in your house.
RDJ. He is so great in that role. And he's always been a good actor. And I love thinking of him in like Weird Science. Mm-hmm. People kind of like forget he's in that, but he's just extremely talented and extremely cool.
Or Less Than Zero, Robert Downey.
Yeah. He supposedly he used to date Marissa Tomei. I think they were in a movie together once. And
Spider-Man.
Yes, besides that one. And he recommended her for the part of Aunt May.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that's what I read. So I again, sometimes you can't believe everything you read, but if that's true, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then Hot Toys is also releasing an Anakin Skywalker figure.
What I always thought was cool in Clone Wars, and it was when they had Obi-Wan kind of wearing the Clone Trooper armor. Mm-hmm. It always looked cool. Throwing it out there.
And then there's a Sideshow exclusive where Anakin comes with a poncho over his Clone War armor. Yeah, it's those little details that make Hot Toys so great. TV news, sidetrack a little. So apparently they're coming out with a Chucky TV show based off the movie.
That's been in works for a while too.
Brad Dourif will reprise his role of Chucky as the voice,
which is awesome. Brad Dourif is just. I know him from two things. I knew him from Child's Play as a kid, and I know him as Grima Wormtongue in the Lord of the Rings. He's an excellent actor, especially like you really see his range in the Two Towers. Mm-hmm. But his voice as Chucky, like you think Chucky, you think Brad Dourif, you think that voice. So I don't know. I don't really watch TV as I used to. I would kind of check this out just to see, just to hear Brad's voice for the doll.
Yeah, because he wasn't in the reboot.
No, it was Mark Hamill, right?
Yeah.
And they did what they did, but it's cool that the show is using him.
So for you G.I. Joe fans, Hasbro Cobra Commander Snake Supreme is the Hasbro exclusive, and I believe is now on Hasbro Pulse for pre-order. Officially, the street date isn't out yet, but people are starting to see the Cobra Island figures from G.I. Joe. The Baroness. Yeah, there's the Baroness with her motorcycle. Beachhead. Another Roadblock figure. So those are out now. And then also from Hasbro, Tully's Terrible Night with Terror Dog.
When I read that, it sounded like a weird title of a book or something, but an episode of a cartoon.
I honestly, I thought it was going to be called something like, Ghostbusters,
Two-pack, Tully and Terror Dog.
Yeah. Or like, Tully's Bad Party. Or Tully's Bad Night.
Like the Terror Dogs look awesome. Mm-hmm. And they seem to have captured Rick Moranis' likeness very well. Again, here's another 80s product that's coming back. There's a lot of Ghostbusters merch out. Makes me wish the movie was out again, even more now. But
now, Now, I know you're a big Ghostbuster guy. When's the new movie supposed to be coming out?
2021, I think, beginning somewhere of 2021.
Okay, so I'm thinking no Toy Fair in February, so we're still going to be on quote unquote lockdown.
Right.
Do you think it'll ever get to video on demand?
I think that they should have either. Well, here's the thing: if they put it in the theaters for Halloween, it doesn't make a difference if theaters aren't open.
Yeah.
If they open theaters and said, okay, you can do limited capacity, that
Hey, but
means,
who's going to go though?
well, for a movie like Ghostbusters, I definitely would go. Okay, so again, wear a mask, these kind of things. That means less seats used, so you can do your 6 feet. However, that means they're probably going to raise ticket or concession stand prices, which is going to make it very unaffordable to go to the movies even more because it's too outrageous to go to the movies just for me and my wife, and we just like.
How long is the movie? Did they say the running time?
I don't know. I would guess.
All right, so average.
Probably average like 2 hours. I'm guessing
2 hours, right?
But I think a movie like this would do well in video on demand because it's Ghostbusters. It's got the original cast. The trailer really kind of got you thinking, and like movie theaters, or unless they start doing more drive-throughs, that's something that's in a lot of trouble right now.
Let me ask you this: would you pay $40 for it if you can watch it at home?
No, I would not pay $40. I do remember in the 80s when something would be on. I think this was before video. You could call the cable company and be like, "Oh, I want to rent this movie," and they'd let it. Your channel would be, I don't know, bars or snow or whatever. But once you called and ordered this movie, you could watch it on your TV.
So
yeah,
pay per view.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the damn name all weekend. Pay per view. So this is what it reminds me of. $40 is a lot. I think, and I kind of get it because they made a movie with like this multi-million-dollar budget. They need to recoup it, so they're in a tough situation. It's like you either push it off and hope that things kind of get back to normal and you can open the theater, or you do on demand. But then again, you run into the issue of how many people are going to pay to watch it, what price, what service, like who's going to get it? Is it going to be Netflix? Is it going to be, HBO? Is it, there's this whole other thing that it runs into. So it's kind of like,
that's an interesting take. Battle of the streamers.
Yeah, I mean, this is where streaming, I think, comes in handy. I like streaming. I like being able to sit on my couch and not have to worry about sitting in gum or sticky theater floors or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But there are other movies that you like to experience in the theater. But also, I think if we were to open theaters right now, a lot of self-service things like the soda, they're not going to have that open.
No.
So it's kind of like back to square one. It's like, okay, what does a studio do now with any of the movies that are completed? It's TV shows that might be able to finish filming, like Supernatural is going to finish filming eventually. That just goes to TV, so that's fine. Mm-hmm. But whereas a movie, they usually either go to video for a movie that's not good, or they go to the theater, which is the normal case.
Apparently, a lot of movies are going international first.
That's a smart idea, actually.
Yeah.
Try to.
I wonder the box. Yeah, I wonder what the box office overseas is.
I don't know, but I mean, if they need to recoup their losses, that's gonna probably be what they're gonna have to do.
The Hellfire Club box set is coming out from Marvel Legends.
So they got a lot of
Yeah, X-Men's just killing it right now.
A lot of stuff coming out. It looks like, was that all Hasbro? All that Marvel stuff?
Yeah, all that Marvel Legends. Yeah. There's a Storm and Thunderbird 2-pack that's coming out. Psylocke, Phantom X, and Nimrod 3-pack that's coming out. That's just the comic book stuff. Now we're getting Logan and Professor X from the Logan movie. There's going to be a Deadpool, Negasonic Teenage Warhead 2-pack from the Deadpool movies. Deadpool comes with a unicorn for all you unicorn fans keeping track. There's going to be Zazie Beetz Domino and Cable, both from the Deadpool movie.
So it'll look like Josh Brolin, sort of.
It will look like Josh Brolin. Some more comic book news. Old Man Logan and Old Man Hawkeye 2-pack from the comics is going to be released. You're a big Disney person. Disney and Star Wars and Hasbro have all got together for the Galaxy Edge line of products.
So this Falcon looks incredible. It
does.
Millennium Falcon with vintage collection. Target exclusive, includes Chewie, Porgs, and Hondo. The only thing I don't like is this price because it is way too much. $399 US. It's just a lot of money for a collect. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's a lot of other stuff you can buy. So it is cool though. And then they're coming out with the Star Wars Black, Captain Cardinal, the Hyperdrive BB unit, and DJ R3X. That was the original droid pilot from Star Tours.
Yes.
Which was voiced by Paul Rubens, who's Pee Wee Herman. He is still in the Star Tours queue. For those of you who go to Disney World or Land, you'll still see that droid. But it's kind of cool that they kept them around.
And then it's the 40th anniversary of Empire. So they're coming out with the Wampa, a Ewok, Luke and Leia on Endor, and a speeder.
The only thing I didn't like about the look of the Wampa was because of the articulation. You can kind of see where like the fur doesn't cover it. So you see the lines. But I mean, obviously, I get the meaning why. Ewoks is cool to see. Get a little bit of respect more now these days. So that's cool as well. I saw one that had a 2-pack of it was Luke with the poncho from Endor, and then a Han Solo. But I was like, why doesn't Han have the trench coat? If they're both on Endor, he should be wearing his coat. That's just a thought.
Hey, you know what else we forgot to mention from NECA? The Ultimate Ghostface and Ultimate Jason.
Oh, so from Scream. The Scream figure, right?
Yeah, Ghostface from Scream. He's going to come with...
he's got like a sickle or something like that?
Yeah.
Why does he have that?
Because he's badass.
I guess, but I don't remember, like... I remember Scream 1, 2, and 3, and he didn't use one of those, did he? Was it from later on?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was just curious.
I mean, I'm sure maybe one. Maybe we missed it. Maybe. But I do like that he comes with 3 different masks and a voice changer. That's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then Jason, this is a great figure. I'm not a big horror guy, but this is an awesome Jason figure. Like, he comes with a whole bunch of accessories, too, to kill people. And an extra head, a mask, this one.
Doesn't come with the canvas bag. Didn't he have a bag on his head in the second movie?
No.
Before he had the hockey mask, I think he wore a bag.
Huh.
Like a canvas sack.
I remember Space Jason. Like, wasn't it like Space X?
Movie? Yeah.
Jason X. Also from Hasbro is the Red Series Transformers. Now, these are Transformers. It's basically the Black Series as Transformers. They don't transform. They're somewhat detailed for robots. It's known as the Red Series, the Robot Enhanced Design, excuse me. You're going to come with, the first one's Optimus Prime, obviously. He's going to come with swappable hands, his axe, and a Matrix of Leadership. You got Megatron, same thing. He's got his mace, his Morning Star. Looks like an Energon Cube and different hands. So that's kind of interesting. Although, I'll be honest with you, I prefer my Transformers to actually transform.
So, Tommy, what about Lord Drakon? Am I saying this right?
Oh, from the Power Rangers line.
Right. I see it has an alternate Tommy head. They have your head on this?
No, it's not me.
All right.
That's a likeness of Jason David Frank.
Okay. So
the Lord Draken EVO3 for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection is now up on pre-order at Hasbro Pulse for $49.99. He comes with lightning, that lightning plastic feature.
Okay. Yeah.
Alternate Tommy head and each one of the original Power Rangers helmets. When
did he become a different range? Did he become green Did he become the Green Ranger?
Tommy originally started off as the Green Ranger.
Oh, okay.
Then he progressed into a White Ranger when he lost all his powers. And then Jason David Frank's been that character all throughout every incarnation of Rangers. And then his last one was the Black Dino Ranger that came out of 2-3 years ago. And now Lord Dracon is a character they created in the Boom comics. It's basically an alternate version of Tommy who went bad.
The Rogue Tommy.
Yeah, so he's been going through the time stream and trying to get as many or kill as many Rangers as he can, or enslave them. Because I think the Ranger Slayer is actually Kimberly, Pink Power Ranger.
Really, I don't know much about Power Rangers, but I remember the first series the most. I remember turning off the first series the most, I should say. But
yeah. I wasn't a big fan until, I hate to say it, until they introduced Tommy. Then, like, it started getting more interesting.
Tommy, was it the name? Be honest.
No, I was just more curious. Now this is actually cool because I'm a big Transformers animated movie fan. They have the Quintesson Pit of Judgment. So there's a scene in Transformers where Cup and Hot Rod get thrown into a prison because they landed in this strange planet. So the Quintessons are the rulers of said planet, and they have something like a courtroom, and all their prisoners go to court. There's a prosecutor, there's executioner, the Sharkticons, and so they recreated this scene with the Quintessons. It's incredible. So yeah, it's $69.99, but I'm happy that the animated movie is finally getting its due. Let's see, Alita 1 is coming out with a figure. There's going to be a deluxe Bumblebee that actually transforms into a Beetle. New Deco Wheeljack. Red Alert. There's an Impactor and a Soundwave 3-pack. So you get Soundwave and 3 of the cassettes. Then they also came out with a Top Gun Transformer, and I'm just, I don't know. It comes with a beach ball. Who approved the tooling on a beach ball for this thing?
So the Bill and Ted 3 Face the Music is definitely going to video on demand as of September 1st. It's kind of going back to what we were just talking about. Do you think it's going to do well, or?
Yeah, one, it's a Keanu movie. Everybody loves those. 2, you're going to get the retro people because, Bill and Ted. Yeah. Although I'll be honest, I am going to miss George Carlin.
Yes. Yeah. What is this going to be on? What service? Or
probably just iTunes or wherever.
Okay.
Yeah, iTunes, Amazon.
How much do you think?
That is $1 million question. How much was Trolls? Wasn't it like $20 or something?
I don't even know. I wouldn't watch that movie. I don't know. I didn't know they put that on VOD, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I want to say it was like $20 or $19.99.
See, then it goes back to, again, the price. Like, I get it, what they need to do, and I want to see this movie. Like, think about it.
$20 is kind of reasonable. It's a ticket for at least you and your wife.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
and then
even
you have your own. Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
Yeah, $20 is sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
And then, do you remember G4?
I do. No,
it's coming back.
It would. Now, I remember G4. I remember it went away. So, why, and how? Tell me about this.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with the Sci-Fi Channel.
It's going to be on the Sci-Fi Channel?
I don't know.
Was it part of the Sci-Fi Channel originally?
No, not that I know.
It was its own channel.
No, yeah, until it became Esquire, and then Esquire went to Spike, and Spike became Paramount.
Okay.
So yeah, it was very confusing.
Yes.
But yeah, on their Twitter feed, G4 stated it's coming back, which is good.
So they always kept their Twitter account, G4?
They probably made a new one. I didn't even know Twitter was around when G4 was.
It might not have been, to be honest. Actually, it probably wasn't. This show was on, Jesus, I think when I had my first house.
Wow.
When I first got married. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with it. So remember X-Play and Attack of the Show?
I remember Attack of the Show. I remember Olivia Munn. She was one of the original hosts. Well, she was a host. I don't know if she was an original. Adam Sessler, was he the original guy on the show?
Adam Sessler was on X-Play with Morgan Webb.
Morgan Webb, that name sounds familiar too. So this is like 20 years later what they look like.
Well, if they come back. Adam Sessler, he stated he didn't know anything. But
so
whether or not it was a joke, I don't know.
So this isn't official that they're going to be on the show or
no, or even those shows are coming back.
We just know that G4 is coming back.
Right.
Okay. That's my mistake.
Right. I would love to see Code Monkeys come back. That was a great show.
I only watched Attack of the Show. I don't know what Code Monkeys is or X-Play or.
Well, X-Play was Adam Sessler's show with Morgan Webb. It's basically Twitch now. They would just talk about video games and tricks and stuff like that. Code Monkeys was an original animated show. It featured 8-bit animation, nice. Which was cool. I mean, basically you were watching a video game, except it was a sitcom. It was about all these programmers coming and trying to come up with the newest game.
Interesting.
And then it was The Office, if you can think of it. It was The Office, but for the video game generation.
Okay.
So yeah. Code Monkeys was a great show, but it's great that G4 is coming back. I'm excited for that. The Boys starts September 4th on Amazon, loosely, I should say, based on the comic book. But they just announced they're coming back for a third season. So that's exciting.
Diamond Mini-Mates, they're coming out with, from Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, Angel and Spike, B9 Gold, which we believe is a robot from Lost in Space. It's got that like 1950s.
It looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like it's like that 50s space robot kind of thing.
Exactly.
Godzilla is a glow in the dark kind of thing. I guess like his spikes and maybe a fire stream or something like that. Most likely. But what I'm really excited for is the Rocketeer Mini-Mate. Nice. This is a 4-inch figure. They only made 250 of them. Like I said, it reminds me of a Lego one, and this is just like a Rocketeer version. Mm-hmm. Again, it's like items are so few and far between, and it's such a low number, like 250. These things are just going to be like gone, but it's very, very cool.
And then Diamond Select is also coming out with some action figures, the 7-inch Crow and a Captain Jack Sparrow based on Johnny Depp. Both are going to come with extra accessories, and Johnny Depp's going to come with weapons.
The Crow comes with a guitar, a sword, the Eric Draven tombstone. The likeness to Brandon Lee is pretty decent. I like it. I think they did a better job on the Brandon Lee likeness than they did on the Johnny Depp likeness on Jack Sparrow. I feel like his face is a little just misses the mark a little for Jack Sparrow. But the Crow toy looks great. I love the movie. A couple of things coming out from QFig. This is QMX in the summer of 2020. They're having turtles. They are $20 per turtle, and there's going to be all 4. $20 is actually a pretty decent price for these little. I guess they're about 5 inches. They look kind of like statues, but they're pretty cool. They're on a QMX. Weta is coming out with 2 great pieces. They're coming out with Jim Henson's Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, Skekmul the Hunter Skeksis. He is a 1.6 scale. There was only 400 created, and he's listed at $499. You can pre-order him now. They're also doing a 1/6 scale Gandalf the Grey. Now, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. This is for the 20th celebration of Lord of the Rings, the movie. It looks just like Ian McKellen. He's got the sword Glamdring. He's got the silver gray scarf. and his staff is his pipe. This thing is just freaking. It is great looking. This is priced at $399, I believe, a pre-order as well. And then for any of you who are interested in this, from Iron Studios has a pre-order out for the 1960s Batman and Joker from the episode, season 3 episode, Surf's Up, Joker's Under. This is when they went surfing. And these statues are, Batman is 8 inches, the Joker is 9 inches. They both come with the surfboard. They should be coming out in the second quarter of 2021. They're priced at $149.99. Very detailed on the costs, on the suits, on the Joker's makeup, and they detailed to the point that on the Joker's face, you can see his Cesar Romero's mustache under the makeup. Nice. So these are. I'm not a fan of the '60s Batman. I can't sit through it, but they do look just like it. For any of those fans of the '60s Batman, this is something you might like. Talking about monsters for a moment, Guillermo del Toro is saying if he could ever get the backers, he would like to make a movie version of the novel Frankenstein. He sees it as like a 2 to 3 part movie, basically to get the essence of the book. If you ever read the book or not, it's kind of like Dracula, where it's a lot of different points of view and people writing in their journals and letters and stuff like that. So when able to capture all of that, he feels that it would take that length of movies to make. There's been around 75 different versions of Frankenstein in the movies. Most remembered, of course, is Boris Karloff, but I think if Del Toro makes one, that would be pretty sweet. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if this happens or not. But that would be cool.
Big thank you to Brian Salvatore for our intro and outro music. As always, thank you to Shared Universe Podcast Studios. Join the conversation at Toys, TOYS, podcast@gmail.com. And listen to us on Podbeam, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, and now iHeartRadio. Follow us on toy-lines.com to get up on all the latest news on toys. Follow us on social media, Twitter @ToyLines, Instagram @ToyLines, Facebook @ToyLines, or Toy Shelf Magazine. And when you're on Podbeam or your favorite podcast, please give us a rating or a comment, or do both. We appreciate anything you do. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to my wife, Mary. Happy birthday, sweetheart.
Happy birthday, Mary.
Please wear a mask, wash your hands, and play with your toys.
Be safe. See you guys next week.